Good evening. Oh my gosh, it's not evening, it's afternoon. I got it done early today, and hey, hope you had a nice long weekend. I did. I was actually closed on Friday here at the store, even though it officially wasn't a holiday. The holiday was Monday. And it's actually the first time that I've ever not done a video on a non-holiday, actually, which was Friday. But I figured with the critter last week knocked the wind out of me, I'd take a day off from this and break my perfect record of never missing a day except for a official holiday. But I'm sure Friday was a holiday somewhere, so maybe I can call it like that. Take a look at the live Deerfield Beach Cam. Pretty cool. Lots of bait fish out there. Just saw a large tarpon swim by a little while ago, and a lot of Bermuda chubs and all that cool stuff. But take a look at that water. Really cool looking. Beautiful blue. Let's take a look at spot prices and see how beautiful they are today. Yesterday the markets were open. I'm not quite sure what markets were open and closed. I believe New York was closed yesterday, but I couldn't quite make heads or tails of the 24-hour chart I just looked at. So let's just get into what's happening right now. 1845, sitting in that mid 1800 range. We've definitely made a base of 1800 with gold. I don't see it going much below 1800. Again, unless you see a giant market collapse across the board. Like we did in 2008, which is still possible, but it looks like the plunge protection team is preventing the stock market from taking these giant dumps while they screw around with trying to raise interest rates. It's like bizarre world for sure. 1840, the low. Oh, dropped the coin. And speaking of the coin, we haven't done a coin toss here, and I'm gonna just do a coin flip. And what do we got? We got a bear, of course. All right, did the coin flip there. 1840 and a high of 1857, so what's that, about a $17 range there. Currently sitting not too far off from the low of 1840 at 1845. Silver just kind of languishing in that sub $22 range right now. 2151 being the low, 22 being the high, and it just seems like it's kind of popping in that 50-cent range, 21 to 22. And 50-cent movements for silver are it's not unhealthy, and it's not uncommon to see that. We've seen that in the past. Although this last year, man, it's just been a really strange year. Markets in silver monkey hammered almost $5 down overall from the last couple months or something like that. And gold, about $100 down from where we're sitting right now. The gold to silver ratio pretty much out of whack. When I just did it a little while ago, it was like 85 to 1. So that tells me that either gold's too high, and I don't think gold's too high at all. In fact, I think gold's too low. I think all metals are too low. It really is telling me that the gold is probably where it needs to be right now, right in that range, and silver is too low. And that's why we're seeing that 85 to 1 ratio. However, we could see the gold price shooting up here and that ratio even increasing more, which I think would be pretty cool. I'd love to see that ratio go back to where we were one time. If gold shoots up to about 1900, 1950, starts shooting up to that $2,000 range, and silver still stays in this 22 or thereabouts range, that's going to put the ratio significantly higher. And again, I think we're just setting ourselves up for another $5 and $6 movement upward into that $26, $27 range. Ted Butler says the same thing. The rinse and repeat on the criminal crime X markets is exactly what we're going to see more than likely, unless the big short positions do buy back at higher levels. I think Ted Butler talked about that in a newsletter not too long ago. I'm going to go over a few things that he had mentioned in his newsletter right here. Of course, I'm a big fan of Ted Butler because he kind of explains it to you, how these criminal enterprises work. And if you haven't listened to Ted Butler's stuff here, I recommend that you do whatever search you use, DuckDuckGo. They all suck now, my understanding. Google, whatever. Just type in Ted Butler, silver manipulation, and he'll explain to you who, how, and why. And why is really just simply greed. They make a ton of money doing this. 1845, again, $5 range. Silver sitting in that 50-cent range from 2150 to 22. And platinum really man, it's been in this mid 900 range for quite some time while silver and gold were moving down. Platinum had already made its low, I think, of sub 900, and here it sits in that mid 900 range where it's been for what, a couple weeks now or longer. Palladium too, kind of sucking wind. My understanding out there, I've heard, I think someone in the comment section said earlier in the week that that there's plans for the automotive industry to move away from palladium because of the cost and move into the platinum metals, back to platinum and catalytic converters. I'm not quite sure how that plays out as far as manufacturing, if they've got to change anything. I'm sure there are some changes that are involved, including the manufacturing of changing the metal that you're using from palladium to platinum. So again, haven't seen any news on that. If you have, throw it in the comments section. I'd sure like to read it. I probably should have searched for it anyway. And in fact, you know what? What am I saying? I got a computer in front of me. Let's just do this right here. Platinum to replace palladium. Let's just type that in and see what automotive. We'll type in automotive and see what happens. And where does it go from here? Platinum is a poor substitute for palladium. All right, nothing here. Let me go to the news and just see if there's anything in news that talks about that. No, trade group demand catalytic converter theft soars. Really, nothing. So anybody that's, I think someone mentioned to me that they believe that they were going to switch over. I don't see any news that backs that up. And again, that would be pretty difficult to do. So probably, likely not the case that they're talking about switching from palladium to platinum again for catalytic converters. I just can't see that happening. Again, if I'm wrong, let me know. And where are we at? Well, platinum has pretty much steadied out in this 900 range. At sub 900, I thought it was a great buy. I still think it's a great buy at 900. Just there's not much activity. Again, 940 to 960. It's been range bound for quite some time. While silver and gold were making their downward trends. Silver, vastly underpriced in my opinion. And the reason I say that, again, the gold to silver ratio right now is pretty much out of whack at 85 to 1. But could that increase? Yeah, I've seen it as high as 120 to 1 or something back in 2020. Gold started making its move, 1700, 18, 19, 2000, almost 2000 or something like that, and silver was still languishing in those lower prices, and then silver just shot up. That's when we were seeing that $30 silver back in 2020, I believe it was. But since then, we're about almost $9 down from that high, and why? Well, again, just crooked, manipulative behavior on the COMEX markets. I mean, you know the story. You know it better than I do now. We've heard it so many times. Let's take a look at the 24-hour spot prices with gold. That was yesterday's market. I was trying to figure out when the markets were closed. I thought that the New York markets were closed, but look, there's New York NYMEX right there, and it appears that would indicate that the market was closed after. So NYMEX was open yesterday, I guess. Your CRIMEX market, that is. Even though it is a 24-hour gold market, this is CME group as well, New York Globex, and that's their overnight markets. But it looks like it was closed in the overnight markets yesterday. And where are we? That must be Sunday night. So that is Sunday night. And here we are today. Here's the green line today. And as you can tell, markets get monkey hammered in the New York midday CRIMEX markets here. That's a pretty substantial hit right there. A $10 hit almost instantly. And again, folks, there's no good reason for gold and silver to go down other than pure, and I won't even call these large commercial entities that manipulate these prices speculative. It's not even speculative. It's just pure manipulative, greedy behavior that causes this. And again, we'll get into that. Silver even worse. Silver is even worse. Take a look at this right here. Look at that. Up in the, gosh, does that make any sense to you as well? Take a look at this. Mid 21s to 22 and then back downward. Just some weird gyrations going on with the price of silver as far as I can tell. The fact that it's still sub 22 surprises me a little bit, but meanwhile, as I tell all you silver guys out there, follow the price of gold, because where gold goes, silver is going to follow at some point. And again, if this ratio gets really far out of whack, just keep stacking the silver. I think silver, it indicates that silver again is way too cheap. Hasn't made its run up again, and when I say made its run up again, this is a rinse and repeat pattern that happens in the COMEX markets. Ted Butler's talked about it for decades. I mean, I got to tell you, these videos are getting harder and harder to do because I'm just sick of talking about the same old crooks and thieves that direct or actually are responsible for the pricing of gold and silver. The credibility just sucks too. But no less, take a look at the action here in silver, downward overall in the CrimeX markets. And what's happened in the stock markets today? It was down like 400 or 500 points this morning. The Dow was, I believe, unless that was futures. I don't think it was. And the S&P was down. Now all of a sudden they're magically back up again. I'm telling you, folks, oh my gosh, it's. I sat around for a week just watching news. I think I made myself sicker. Staying home because of the critter. I spent way too much time reading stuff online and looking at the mass corporate media that lies to us all the time. It's depressing. It's almost depressing at some point. So I think I need another vacation. Turn the computer off. So what else is going on? Ted Butler, again, we talk about these manipulated silver markets. It's a rinse and repeat system right now. So we're down in that, we've already been through the rinse cycle here. I think it's ready for the repeat cycle, more or less. He talks about this, right? He thinks that, and I feel the same way when I'm saying he thinks that. I think a lot of people are ready for the upside move in silver again. Includes both wholesale and all the important market structure in comics where the positioning of paper future contracts is so remarkably bullish as to defy descriptions. 6 weeks ago, the same positioning stood out as the only possible reason for a price swoon in silver and gold, and now that possibility has been realized. The tables have now shifted completely to where a significant price rally seems nearly guaranteed. And then he kind of explains it for why here. The only real question is if the coming rally will be a retrace of the deliberate price beatdown or something much more significant. And what Ted's talking about is this, again, rinse and repeat behavior that we've seen these collusive banks do for decades and decades. They drive it up $5, $6, and then they drive it back down to drive out the commercial spec positions, the long positions. And again, rinse and repeat. Ted says, I continue to maintain that the crux of the question lies in whether the four big commercial shorts and COMEX do what they have always done on every significant silver price rally over the past 40 years, namely add aggressively to the short positions on the coming rally for the purpose of capping prices and snuffing out the rally. Again, it's a rinse and repeat cycle that we've seen in these collusive markets, these collusive CrimeX markets. And Ted says, while this question will undoubtedly be known to all in the not too distant future, at this juncture all we can do is prepare and position for a rally of undetermined proportions about the best possible circumstances for a gold or silver investor. So Ted is correct in saying that we've pretty much seen the bottom in silver, I believe, in this $21 level. Will they knock it below 21 a little bit? It's possible. I mean, never underestimate these crooks at COMEX, or these crooks, collusive commercial crooks operating in the CrimeX, COMEX markets. Never underestimate them, but I believe, as Ted does, is that we've pretty much seen the bottom and we're going to do another one. It's either going to go past that $25, $26 mark, especially if they don't add to their short positions or they buy back at higher levels, which they haven't done yet. But we're waiting for that day to happen, and when it does, that's when silver is going to rally right through the roof. But no less, will they cap the prices again? Highly likely. I mean, that's kind of, but here, let's take a look here. What else? Best possible circumstances. So anyway, I can't read all of this to you. I just kind of wanted to read a small part of it. And for those of you out there that think, oh man, silver's done for, it's not going to go back up. No, folks. This is just, like I said, a rinse and repeat that we, like a wash machine that just does the same thing over and over. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. And same behavior that we've seen for a long time in the silver and gold markets. A lot of you guys actually believe these are great opportunities to buy. The problem I have with this, and the reason I get more and more angry about it, is because to the general public, it does hurt the perception of price of silver, because you ask someone that just kind of vaguely follows it and looks at the price, silver hasn't done anything in a long time. Well, But lo and behold, they don't know that it does. It's just made some wild, crazy swings, and that it is highly, it's highly manipulated market. And I don't think any market that's manipulated is good, for the health of the market at all. And that includes the silver market. All right, let me get out of here and go into gata.org. Not much to talk about, but as you know, I recommend that if you want to understand who fixes the gold prices and who's involved with scamming gold buyers by fixing gold prices, gata.org will tell you the basics, confiscation, documentation. This is all good stuff that you should be reading. Federal Reserve carrying $330 billion in unrealized losses. Well, they don't care. They can print all the money. Do you think any of the Federal Reserve board members is ever going to lose a meal or miss a meal in any way, shape, or form? No, never going to happen. They don't care. They're going to do well, even if this entire system takes a crap on their watch. Again, folks, it's just the manipulation and the crookedness of our marketplaces, of our government. It's just our media. It's such a negative low point I've never seen in my lifetime at all. I don't know about you, but the credibility of our marketplaces, of our government, and of our media is just at zero as far as I'm concerned. Speaking of zero, let's take a look at CH here, and let's just kind of see what I'm talking about. Gosh, if I read this stuff all the time, again, you'll get depressed, and it's easy to do, but acquitted, no way. But of course it was in a DC jury, so go figure that. I've seen juries before in the past, and the people that actually show up for jury duty are usually they're not too bright. We don't have the brightest people serving on juries, that's for sure. And when it comes to Washington, D.C., I think what they notice is that take a look at who the jury was probably mostly made up of. Not mostly made up of, but come to find out, there were quite a few supporters of the donkeys, the jackasses that sat on that jury right there. And no wonder. Again, credibility, folks. Look, credibility. The credibility even of our legal system and our justice system, when it can be, when a jury can be made up of people that are supportive of the person being charged. That's just fucking crazy, insane. We're living in a bizarro world. Home prices soared by a record in March, but I'm not quite sure what that means. But I've been kind of waiting. I mean, the prices of homes, just like the stock market, can they just continue to go up and up and up? At what point do America's favorite two investments, Wall Street and homes, finally start taking it on the chin as well? I don't know. Oh, man. World's largest Toyota misses global production. I just don't see anything that leads me to believe that the economy is going to get any better anytime soon. In fact, it just looks worse and worse in the political situation out there. Look at this fucking moron running this country right here. Unbelievable. Some of the shit that comes out of his mouth is just insane, man. Insane world. But then again, I don't think he's with it at all. I think he's just a puppet of the deep state, in my opinion. Actually, I think this is the second presidency of Obama and the presidency that Hillary always wanted by proxy through this fucking moron, crook. Gosh, I went there, I know. Treasury traders, Deutsche Bank, who got caught manipulating gold and silver markets at one time as well, paid big fines for it, got rid of their gold and silver trading division, and now they're just messing with others. It's just, folks, you can't make this shit up if you tried. And I hope they go after these people that did this right here, leaked the Supreme Court is our last hope, I don't know. All right, I'm moving out of here. And going to talk about what I know best, which is what are the best deals out there. And there's nothing has changed as far as the best deals out there. Gold, I believe that the American Eagles and Maples, the prices aren't too awful bad, but you can still buy gold bars for spot plus 90 or less. And if Gold Eagles, I haven't looked for a little while. If Gold Eagles are 120 to 130 over, I'm not quite sure. I just threw that number out there. On the retail level with the big majors, that puts them about $40 an ounce over the price of a bar. All right, so that's the reason I like gold bars, because for every gold bar that a gold bar versus an American Eagle. There's an American Eagle right there. You can buy a gold bar plus an ounce or two of silver, almost for the same price that you pay for one American Eagle. And of course, I think that represents much better value. An ounce of gold plus 2 ounces of silver is the same price of an ounce of gold in a coin form, including Canadian maple leafs. But again, premiums aren't crazy on maple leafs or eagles and the sovereign products. Where the premiums are absolutely fucking insane is with the silver products. I mean, here, let me just go into JM Bullion, because they are the Walmart of precious metals online, in my opinion, and it's a reputable company. And as you know, if you live in South Florida, I advertise to beat all the local guys down here, and I also advertise to beat JM Bullion, who is the 800-pound gorilla online. And let's take a look here and see. I'm kind of curious where they're at on silver right now. Silver Eagles is just insane, probably. We looked at gold. Well, let's take a look at gold. In-stock gold prices. And again, folks, if you're looking at this, I advertise to beat these guys' prices here in my store. So you don't have to send your money out of state, and you can deal with nice, local, friendly people like myself. And let's see, the difference in as low as. Now remember, this is their as low as price. So if you click that, you'll notice that for 1935, you got to buy 25 ounces or more. But they're getting 1945 for one gold bar there. And let's take a look and see how that compares to one American Eagle, 1945. That's significant. 45, 55, 65. So that's basically $30 more per ounce. So again, like I said, for every gold 1 ounce bar that you buy, you can buy a gold 1 ounce bar plus a silver bar for the same price you can buy an American Eagle. Let's see what the best deals are in silver out there. Nothing. There's no good deals in silver. Actually, I do have some esoteric stuff here in the store. If you live in the area, you can come by. I've been throwing some cheap deals out there. Bahamian conch silver coins, which are I'm selling for the melt price plus $1.50. So that's really cheap. And there are some products out there you can buy for good prices out there. Come in the store and I'll show you. 1 ounce Sunshine Silver Buffaloes are currently $26.98. What is that with the spot price? $21.89. So, man, that's significant. Look at the premiums on these things. But still, compared to Silver Eagles, look, 1 ounce American Eagles, $35. Oh, hold on, that's a random date. All right, as low as 32. So basically, Silver Eagles as low as 32.88, and what are they showing for spot? 21.88. Yeah, that's like a $10 premium versus 1 ounce rounds, which are around $5 over. The best deal out there is still kilos and 100 ounce bars. And again, I advertise to beat these guys right here. Look at that, 25.48. I can beat that price, and I can beat their price on kilos as well. And I think that's really about it, folks. Man, this is my first full kind of day of getting work done today, and I am still feeling a little bit under the weather. Here, let's take a look at yesterday's video. Sent my, hey, tree climber, what's up? Camper, yep, Homestead back during the hurricane. Basically, last Thursday's video was shortage of available silver out there, which is correct. There is a shortage of available silver. People say, well, there's plenty of silver out there. Yeah, there may be plenty of silver, but how much of it is available for sale? How much of it is available for manufacturing? I think that we are having a big major issue with silver shortages out there, because investors certainly don't want to sell at these levels, the real stuff, and there's, again, a consistent demand, investment, and manufacturing for silver. All right, I'm going to call it. So, my saying for the year is think for yourself and question authority. And I hope you're continuing to do that, and I hope you teach the people around you, your children, your neighbors, to do the same thing. Think for yourself and question authority, and don't trust these sons of bitches out here, folks. When the media, nor the government, or the man, I'm telling you, it's just so in our faces, it's not even funny. All right, I'm gonna leave it at that. This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Call us anytime between 10 and 4, Mondays through Fridays. If you got questions about precious metals, and if you don't live in my area, please find yourself a good local dealer to buy and sell precious metals with. Again, we don't do any shipping here. We're a brick and mortar, so we only kind of deal locally. Hey, thanks again. Hope you had a great weekend, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye now.